Birth Certificate Authentication, a factual end-to-end guide. What authentication is and isn't authentication, and its sibling, the apostille, is a signature and seal verification chain so another authority, often abroad, can trust a U.S. public document. Which certificate you need depends on the destination country. Hague Apostille Convention country. Request a state apostille. hcch, a non-Hague country. Request a state authentication. And some destinations also require a federal authentication from the U.S. Department of State, DOS, using Form DS 4194. travel.state.gov. Authentication does not change citizenship, tax status, or ownership of property. It verifies origin, so a receiving authority will accept the record. That's the sole purpose under U.S. and international practice. usa.gov. Brief historical context. Modern civil registration systems arose in the 19th century to record births, deaths, and marriages for identity, health, and property purposes. In England and Wales, the Births and Deaths Registration Act 1836 created a national registrar network effective in 1837. Many current practices flow from that civil registration tradition. Navigator. Globally, CRVS, Civil Registration and Vital Statistics. Standards led by the UN/WHO define birth certificates as vital records used for public administration and rights, not as financial instruments. World Health Organization. In the U.S., vital registration expanded state by state. All states were in the national birth-death registration areas by 1933. Civil registration is state-administered, which is why procedures vary by state. UNSD legal and procedural framework you actually use. hcch 1961. Apostille Convention replaces multi-step legalization with one apostille issued by a competent authority in the document's origin country. hcch, U.S. Department of State, Office of Authentications, issues apostilles, authentications, where applicable. Form DS 4194 is required for federal authentication, and the fee is $20 per document. Check current page before mailing. travel.state.gov. 28 USC Section 1733 Evidence Rule. Properly authenticated copies of U.S. government records are admissible equally with originals outside proceedings governed by the federal rules of evidence. This is why agencies insist on correct certification chains. Legal Information Institute. Your bundle's workflow forms, labels, and affidavits attached to a working copy, not the sealed original mirrors standard administrative practice, and keeps originals intact. The step-by-step process one. Obtain the correct record. Order a certified long-form birth certificate from the issuing authority, state or county per your state system. Verify the registrar's signature/seal and the issuance date. If your state requires it for county-issued certificates, request county exemplification, a clerk's certificate attesting the custodian's authority. Keep the sealed original intact. Why it matters. Foreign authorities and some U.S. offices expect a long-form certificate, more data, clear registrar credentials, and some states won't authenticate without a custodian verification if the document originated at the county level. 2. Choose path by destination country. If destination is a Hague member, submit to your Secretary of State for an apostille, usually final. travel.state.gov. If destination is non-Hague, submit to your Secretary of State for a state authentication, then proceed to DOS with DS 4194. Next step. To check whether a country is Hague or non-Hague, consult the official hcch status table. hcch 3. State apostille authentication, cover sheet plus mailing, typical state packet, state cover sheet, apostille authentication request. Original certified birth record, plus county exemplification if applicable. Fee per document varies by state. Prepaid trackable return envelope. You'll receive a state certificate permanently attached, stapled, or riveted. Do not detach. 4. U.S. Department of State Authentication, non-Hague, only mail to DOS with Form DS4194. List the country of use, the state authenticated document. Keep the stack intact. $20 per document, paid as specified on the DOS page, and a prepaid trackable return label. When DOS returns your packet, log the control/annex number and date. Keep the packet sealed or riveted. Make front/back copies for working use. 5. Working copy and internal records. Good practice. Create a working authenticated copy, front/back of every page. Maintain chain of custody notes, where the sealed original is stored, who accessed it, dates. If your internal procedures include attaching a notarized affidavit to the working copy, e.g., a simple same party familiarity statement, keep it with the copy, not the sealed original. These are administrative aids. They do not add legal effect beyond the authentication itself. Timelines and fees, typical, subject to change. Long form certificate, a few days to approximately 2 weeks, varies by state or county. State apostille, authentication, same day, walk-in to approximately 2 weeks. DOS, mail-in, often 1 to 4 weeks depending on volume, $20 per document. Always verify current guidance before mailing. Travel.state.gov. Your bundle's estimate of about 30 to 45 days end to end, mailing included, is a realistic planning window. Where special rules come up, evidence of public records. Properly authenticated copies can be used in many administrative or judicial settings per 28 U.S.C. Section 1733. The statute itself carves out cases governed by the Federal Rules of Evidence. Legal Information Institute. Minnesota Rule 220, context only. Minnesota's Torrens Land Title Rule allows the registrar of titles in that specific system to memorialize an official birth certificate upon a certificate of title when an affidavit shows it's the same party, and then to treat majority as attained at age 18. This rule applies to Minnesota's Land Title Administration, not to general identity, finance, or federal status. Common mistakes that trigger rejections and how to avoid them: sending a short form or uncertified copy, use a certified long form record, detaching riveted pages, never separate anything once the state or DOS has attached it, listing the wrong country on DS4194 or leaving it blank. DOS routes work based on the country of use. Travel.state.gov. No prepaid trackable return. Many offices strongly prefer or require you to include it. County exemplification missing in states that require it. Ask the issuing clerk whether a custodian/authentication certificate is needed for state processing. Quick reference checklist. Gather certified long form birth certificate. County exemplification if your state requires it. State SOS cover sheet plus fee. DS4194, non-Hague only, plus $20 per document. Follow DOS payment rules. Prepaid trackable return label S. Submit to Secretary of State Apostille, Hague, or Authentication, non-Hague, to DOS, non-Hague when required. DS4194, packet, protect. Do not detach stapled, riveted pages. Scan front/back for your records. Store original sealed packets securely. Arrange certified translation after apostille/authentication if the destination requires it. Templates and where they fit. Affidavit regarding authenticated vital record, attached to the working copy, not the sealed packet. Trust records minutes. Receipt and custody. Log where the sealed original is stored, control numbers, and access. DS4194 cover plus checklist. Helps avoid omissions, includes prepaid return details. Sources: DOS, requesting authentication services. What to include? $20 per document, country of use. And Form DS-4194, travel.state.gov. hcch, apostille. What an apostille is. Status table for members. hcch, usa.gov explainer, apostille versus authentication. usa.gov. 28 USC section 1733, authenticated copies as evidence. Legal Information Institute, your bundle docs, workflow structure, checklists, and templates.